Hey, what is up YouTube? Primalens here. Now today I'm back with another Fortnite video. Now today's video I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different. In today's video I am actually going to be teaching you how to do better 90s, beginner 90s on console and not choke like I just did. Now this applies to both like expert 90s and beginner 90s because these are all basic tips you can follow in order to improve your 90s. Now before this video starts, make sure to like this video if you enjoy it at any time, and make sure to go down below and hit the subscribe button as well as post notifications so you never miss any of my content. Now let's get into the video. First of all, my 90s aren't the best, I realize that. But yeah, so the first thing to do, obviously I'm not the best at 90s, but what you want to do, first we're starting off on what you use 90s for. Normally it's to get high ground, because if you're just ramping up like this, you can only go so fast, right? Sprinting pace. But if you're doing 90s, you can get up so much faster. Choke there, whatever. You can get up so much faster, and then you compare that with like ramp rushes and pyramids, and then you can go into a 90 like so, stuff like that. But basically what I'm trying to tell you is 90s are meant to get high ground. If you're in a 1v1 or if you're in an end game situation, doing 90s is critical and it helps a lot. Now the correct way, well, normally the best way to do 90s on console, this is mainly for people who don't play claw, but it can also apply to people who play claw. So what you do is you place the stair, and then you build all of the walls like this, and then place the floor, and then like so. So place all the walls first, and then the floor. Now what you actually want to do though, is when you're doing your 90 like this, you're gonna want to build the floor in between, and it will phase shift you. You want as much phase shift as possible. So like this, it's all a matter of getting it down. So see, you jump super high when you phase shift, as opposed to just jumping like this. When I do a phase shift, you go way higher. It's like a boost, which is one of the best things about 90s. Now, I personally don't do this, but this is something definitely you should practice when it comes to 90s. Now, if you're a beginner, do what I'm doing right now. So, you do your 90s, and then you ramp up one, and then you do more 90s, and then you ramp up one, and so on and so forth. So basically, just keep doing this, and then eventually once you got that down, you'll just do 90s like so. So just start out basic, and then you can get more complicated. And then there's also like the spider 90s where it goes just like that, which I can't really do. And then there's also, eventually you'll be able to get to the point where you can do like 90s without even jumping like that, which I can't really do as of now. It's kind of harder on console, but anyway, the correct form is stair, walls, floor, and then like so. So ramp, and then walls, and then floor, and then stair. Now, sometimes when you're doing your 90s, stuff will happen. Like, say I'm doing my 90s, and then I accidentally get a wall like this, or I miss a wall. This can be easily prevented if you go fully up and you get in line. So the higher you go in your 90s, the easier it gets to control it, because if you're down here and you go like this, you're gonna go all over the place, and it's gonna be harder to control when you're down below. So you wanna get as high up on the ramp as you possibly can. Not as you possibly can, but you want like medium middle. So yeah, that is another great tip. Now, you want a circular formation. So when you're doing your 90s, You don't just want to go like that, because what will happen is you'll run into the wall like that. You'll stop in front of the wall. Instead of going like this, you want to kind of curve. You want to go like that. So instead of, like, imagine you're building doing the 90s. You don't want to go straight up and then to the side like a right angle. You want to curve out like this. So you want to curve so that way, like that. Like, you can obviously tell. Here, I'll do sharp turn 90s and then curve 90s. See, look. A, you mess up. B, you run into the wall like that, like what I just did. You run into the wall and then you get forced to the side, as opposed to curve 90s. Wow, I'm choking. As opposed to like curve 90s, because if you do curve 90s, you get more control. Now, I'm not really used to curve 90s because I don't really use them. I use more right angle 90s because once again, I'm not the best at 90s. I don't really use them often, but you definitely want more of that curving formation, because if you do a sharp turn, you're gonna run it into the wall. Now, also one thing to talk about is definitely when you do your 90s, like so, you want to place all the walls. So say you're like building up like this, and you just build 2 walls like so, and you go like this, you're gonna glitch out. Like, if you just build 2 walls like this, some people, when they're beginners, they figure, oh, as least mats as possible. They just build 2 walls like that and build up. A, that causes jump fatigue faster, and B, if you build all of the walls, it naturally causes you to curve. So with the curve, if you build all of the walls, it naturally causes you to curve. As opposed to just kind of going like this, it naturally causes you to get jump fatigue over time, and A, you'll shift through the stair, and B, you'll hit the wall, like I was saying with the right angle, as opposed to if you build all the walls, it kind of naturally forces you into the curve, if you know what I mean. So this is definitely something, I know you're trying to save mats in late game and everything, but building the extra 2 walls in the 90 definitely is worthwhile. You should definitely build all of the walls, which makes a natural curving formation. Now, some of the drills I like to do is, once again, if you're a beginner, I like to build the 90 and then build up one, and then build the 90, build up one, like so. And then occasionally I'll do like a 180 like that, and then I'll build up one. Now, another drill adding on to that, as you're doing your 90s and you build up, add a floor and a ramp. So, or a floor and a wall. So if you're 90ing up like this and you build up like so. And even when you get good, you can place a pyramid over it while you're doing it, and then you could do quad ramp rush into a pyramid into a 90. So it's kind of mixing ramp rushing into pyramiding, and eventually you'll be able to quad ramp rush into a 90 into a floor pyramid, which I am not very good at. I can't really do that at the moment. It's kind of hard on console, but anyway, that's a good tip to flow your 90s, to move them, to combine them with things, which will make it more useful. Because if you just do 90s up, like this, it's not really effective because people can shoot you out from all sides, as opposed to doing ramp rushes and doing pyramids that prevents you from getting lasered from the high ground. And the ramp rushes prevent you from getting shot down, as opposed to 90s, they can just shoot down your floor. Like, it's super easy to shoot out. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was kind of a short video. But yeah, make sure to stay tuned on my channel and remember the drills I taught you. And yeah, stay tuned. I might make other videos like that. Let me know in the comments if I should make more tutorial videos like this one. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.